Hi everyone, welcome back to Mama's Nook for another DIY craft video. If you're new to my channel, I invite you to subscribe and click the bell to be notified when I post a new video. Today's project is an in the hoop embroidery design. The designer is based in the UK and the website is called Titania Creations. You will find the link to the website in the description below. The name of the design I will be creating is In the Hoop Ginger Christmas Countdown. Materials needed are tearaway stabilizer, felt, 2 pieces of the standard size felt that you buy in a dollar store, chalkboard fabric, or in my case I'm just using a piece of vinyl from my stash. This is like an upholstery type vinyl. Some ribbon, some cording, embroidery thread, and painter's tape. Let's get started. So I have hooped a piece of tearaway stabilizer into my hoop, and I'm placing it on my machine. Run it. And the first stitching is just going to be an outline for placement. So now we cover this die line with a piece of felt and stitch the next one. Now we're going to do a few thread changes here, and we're going to stitch the details onto the gingerbread, starting with holly. This is the holly berries. And the icing, which the gingerbread man has. I'm just going to remove my hoop and I'm going to trim away the jump stitches. I'm not sure if you can actually see them, but when it goes from one section to another, a big long string goes across. So I'm just trimming those off at this point. In my hook, my machine, and we'll move on to the next color. And again, I'm going to trim some jump stitches at this point. This is where they jump across as it goes down to the next section of the design. Just going to quickly take those away. You could wait until the end, but it's easier and less complicated to do if you do it at this stage. Now let's turn it to the machine. Some machines automatically trim those stitches. My machine does not. Last detail colors for the cheeks. Okay, that finishes all the detail, so I'm going to remove it from my machine. I'm going to trim the last of the jump stitches. Okay, now I'm going to flip it over. And any of the jump stitches that would show. Okay, so far this is the front and this is the back. So I'm going to cut a piece of ribbon and I'm going to tape it on the back in the center of the gingerbread man, and just use masking tape to hold it. Painter's tape, masking tape. Now you want to keep the tape away from where you see the stitch line. And now we're going to cover this with another piece of felt and just a couple of pieces of painter's tape to hold that in place. Change the thread color once again. Somehow I managed to get the thread twisted here, so we'll do that again. And I'm also going to change my bobbin thread so that the same brown is going to show on the back. And we put our hoop back on the machine and stitch the final outline. Okay, that completes the ginger part of this. I will do the final trimming at the end, and we'll move on to the black part of this. So, put in a piece of tearaway stabilizer again. And stitch the die line. Cover the die line with a piece of felt. Now this is where the chalkboard fabric or the vinyl, whatever you're using, is going to get applied. So this will stitch the placement line. Now you're going to cover that with your vinyl or your chalkboard fabric, whichever you're using, and tack that down. Now this needs to be removed from the machine, and you need to trim as close to the stitching line as you can without cutting the stitches. And you return it to the machine, and it'll do a finishing stitch around that. And now we're going to stitch the text. Move it from the machine. Put a piece of felt over the die line on the back and just a couple of pieces of painter's tape to hold it. Again, change my bobbin thread to match the top thread. And the final thing to stitch is the placement marks to attach this to the ginger. That completes the embroidery portion. So now we'll take it off the machine and we will move on to trimming and assembly. I'm just going to move my machine out of the way and adjust my camera, and I will be right back. These are the two finished pieces that we are now going to assemble. So I have a few jump stitches still to trim. It's just tiny little jump stitches in between the lettering. So if I'm able to trim them, I like to. Sometimes they are too small, but having a very sharp, curved pair of scissors helps. Now we're going to remove the excess stabilizer, which just tears away. Now you just want to cut around the outline as close to the stitching as you can without cutting the stitching, and being careful when you do the ginger that you don't cut your ribbon. So I'm actually going to start there, doing one layer of felt at a time. I can see that I put my ribbon on backwards. Oh well, that's okay. It's just a hanger. So now you just take a pair of scissors and cut around the edge. And same thing for the flap, just trim around it. Now we are going to take an awl and poke a hole in between these placement marks. Okay. And we're going to cut some cord. Looks good to me. Maybe it should be a little bit longer than that. Need to leave room to tie a knot, so okay, so now we need to go through the back. As you can see, I did it backwards. So take it off. Okay, now we got it right. So I'm going to flip it to the back now and make these even. However long it is that you think looks good. And tie a knot in these ones. And it's done. So you just take a piece of chalk marker, and write the number of sleeps until Christmas. Chalk marker would absolutely be better. Now when you purchase this design, you get the option of 2 sizes. You can do it in a 4x4 hoop or a 5x7 hoop. So this is the difference in size. This is the small 4x4. This is the 5x7. This would look really cute on the tree. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I ask that you give it a like. And until next time, bye for now.